Hello again, YouTube, and I'm back with another update here. And this update just for those folks who's wondering how my solar is holding out. And just to kind of let you know, it's holding out pretty well. As you can see right here, I'm off the grid, and this is every day between the hours of 7 a.m. and 4:45 p.m. If the conditions are right, my system is off the grid, and as you can see, I'm pulling in around 70 something amps and so forth. And if you look right here, you'll see I'm in absorb mode. Now, what does that really mean? Well, the thing is, I'm actually running about 7 fans, and I'm doing laundry with the washing machine right now, and I've got computers. I was watching some videos earlier. There's lights on, the basic stuff. And so, as you can see, I'm, pulling in that many amps. So I'm inverting with this MagnaSine inverter. So it's so far, things have, my system has been running as I, designed it to run. Sadly, my little meter here went out on me, so I might replace it. It was just to check AC voltage and stuff like that. That's all. Looking at my batteries, I had to reseal my batteries. I was using some type of gasket sealer, but unfortunately, that didn't work out too well. I mean, it was okay temporarily, but what I've wound up having to do is just simply, just go down to Home Depot and grab some 5-minute epoxy, and I re-epoxy my cells to close them up. And so far, I've cleaned them up, and I also added in some more electrolyte to a few of them, quite a few of them actually, just to kind of clean them out. And I found out a couple of things. Do not, under any circumstances, my opinion, do not under any circumstances use Walmart brand distilled water. Just don't do it. What I found out was, my cells, they were kind of, foaming up and bubbling up and stuff like that. I'm like, well, what's the deal here? At first I thought the plates were dirty, and and what I believe I have found out is it's the water. It's the Walmart water. Okay, they're just bad. Excuse me. So, sorry about that. I had to sneeze. But anyway, it's the Walmart brand water. It's just not good. I mean, they just for some reason they said it's distilled. I'm not talking about the purified water. I'm talking about the distilled water. Just don't use it. I'm just telling you. Okay, just don't use it. And I have a home distiller, so I basically made my own distilled water, and lo and behold, hey, the foaming went away. Okay, so I don't use Walmart distilled water anymore. These cells right here, they're still, they're still working, they're still doing their thing. All right. You see where I got some little pieces of tape there, the X's. This is where I had to actually go in and I marked the cells where I had to go in and change out the electrolyte. And because they were not keeping the capacity like the others, so I changed out the electrolyte. I just left the tape on just so I can keep an eye on those particular cells going forward. My other cell that was bad, that I had to fix, I resealed it with epoxy as well, and I put it over there. And so far, things are, they're still doing their thing. They're working fine day in and day out. And at night, I just simply go into backup mode. I don't use these cells. I don't use the system at night. I essentially at 4:45, it switches back on grid, and I live normally. But during the day, while the sun is out, I use the system. Okay, so everything is just working fine. My Raspberry Pi water heater controller, it's still doing fine as well. It's doing what I need it to do. As you can see, there's no burnout wires or anything like that. It's still working as I need it to. This is a Raspberry Pi Zero, okay, 0W is Wi-Fi, and I went ahead and I got a side, one of those little side USB cables, side mounted right there. And I mounted it as opposed to mounting it over here, because this thing does this is a big heat sink essentially, so this thing does get hot, and so what happened was when I kind of mounted it on the side with some glue, and it kind of melted off. But so I just put it with some Velcro over here. It works fine. All right, works fine. So anyway, just wanted to let folks know the system itself is doing very, very well. My Magnasign, I've had this thing for man a long time now, and it is getting older. Okay, it is getting older, and I don't know how long it's got left, but it's been running. I mean, for years. So I kind of keep that in mind. Okay. So, let's see what else. I still got my little drawing. I haven't really updated it or anything, but eventually I will. But let's see here. The TriStar MPPT, it's doing its thing. It's working great. I can see now I guess the sun's behind some clouds, so I'm actually pulling amps from the battery, which is fine. That doesn't matter. The Midnight Classic, it's still just chugging along as well, and the system itself, it's working as I need it to. I've got the system in such a way now where I barely, I come out here and I make sure that I check the water and stuff in the cells. Refill as necessary. I have my little pure distilled water over here. And I come out and just to make sure things are not foaming or anything like that. And so far, again, if you get the right water in there and you make sure you got some decent cells, you should be good to go. Well, I mean, these are nickel cadmium batteries and these are nickel iron batteries, so they're not lead acid. So lead acid folks don't have to worry about this, or lithium based batteries, you obviously don't have to worry about this. But these are very, very old batteries. They're very, very old. I mean, decades old. I mean, they got batteries here, like 40 years old, and they're still chugging along, so they work fine. But anyway, as far as the solar side of things, I haven't really done a lot with my solar because, again, the system is running like I want it to. One thing I definitely want to stress is safety in your solar setup. Like this breaker right here, this thing right here, this thing is a lifesaver. Because there are times when, my wife is cooking something and she's pulling more amps than the system can handle. Like, for instance, this is a 200 amp breaker, right? And she has tripped that breaker, a couple of times. And so the thing about it is, this is a must. Having a decent sized breaker is a must. Also, educating your family on your solar setup. If you're pulling stuff from the grid, sure, okay. But if you're pulling stuff from your battery bank, and these wires here are geared to handle a certain amount of amperage, right? And so that's why you get a breaker, okay. I got a breaker that is slightly lower. I mean, like for instance, this will trip at 200 amps, and I think this is 4-volt wire. I forgot the total amp. I think it's like 250 or something like that. But hey, breakers are great. Okay, breakers, fuses, like these super heavy duty fuses. I have a spare right there. That's a serious heavy duty fuse. So anyway, folks, I just want you to know, hey, solar is great. I use my solar pretty much every day. And it's awesome. I have no regrets, none whatsoever. Okay, all right, take care, you two.